Hello, I'm Christina, and I have Danielle here to do the Astrand Cycle protocol, which is a single-stage submax test for aerobic capacity. Um, I've had her warming up on the treadmill here for about 2 minutes, so in another minute I'm going to go ahead and increase her workload to 600 kilopons, which we've calculated to be 100 watts, and she's going to stay at 50 revolutions per minute. We've already predetermined that she is a well-conditioned female, and that's why we picked that workload. And we also predetermined that there were no risk factors, so she's at low risk for cardiovascular disease. So I'm going to go ahead and start increasing her workload now. So before we started, I took her resting values, which I found her heart rate to be 70 beats per minute. Her blood pressure was 118 over 78, and we found her heart rate max to be calculated at 189. So we want her steady state values to remain in between 113 and 160 beats per minute in order to stay in that steady state. We already adjusted her bike so that the seat came to her greater trochanter, and also there was no more than a 5-degree bend in her knee for that. I'm going to go ahead and explain the RPE scale. So we have the rating of perceived exertion. It's going to go from 6 to 20, with 6 being very, very, very light and 20 being the maximum exertion. So that way when I ask her that, she'll know what to do. We're almost to that 2-minute mark, so I'm going to go ahead and start taking her heart rate. Okay. So her heart rate was at 116. And her blood pressure was at 128 over 78. What was your rating of perceived exertion?
Probably at about 10.
10. Okay, so the next minute that we're going to take her vitals at is going to be at minute 5. So just a couple minutes. How are you feeling?
I'm doing good.
Good. another minute left. Go ahead and start taking her heart rate. About 130. It's 138/76. And what's your RPE?
About a 13.
13. And then the next stage is going to be the 6-minute stage, which we're almost to because it took me a little while to do those resting values. Or not resting values, those values. So I'm going to go ahead and take her heart rate for this last minute of the test. It's about 132 for her heart rate. And that was 138/78 again. And what was your RPE?
Still a 13.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring you down into a cool down. And then once she's done with a 5-minute cool down, I'm going to go ahead and take her resting vitals again and make sure that she cooled down appropriately. And that was the Astrand Cycle protocol.